Everybody, welcome to Rossall Heritage Golf. Hopefully you're all keeping really good. Today we are going to be talking about, I would say, the biggest mistake that I tend to see with amateur golfers. So we're going to talk a little bit about why it happens, how you're going to know if it's you, but also most importantly how to fix the problem. Now, the problem that I'm referring to is very much the hands and arms in the backswing position. So what tends to happen for a lot of golfers, and I say this because all of my content is happening because of either somebody that I've given a face-to-face lesson with or somebody that I'm teaching online. And they're common problems that I see all the time. And this problem very much is what happens in the backswing is the hands and arms get too close to the body in the backswing position. Now, if your hands and arms get too close, which basically means this trail arm is excessively bending in the backswing, what this effectively means now is that as you initiate the downswing, your first move is going to be applying width, which effectively means you're going to be casting the golf club. And when you start casting the golf club like this, you're going to get too scoopy, so you're going to end up hitting too much up on the golf ball. But what I saw with my other student that I was working with is it just starts to kind of paint this real complication with everything, because then what you start doing is you start moving the ball back, and then what you start noticing is you start tilting your shoulders to still get it up in the air. Then you end up sort of getting into a position like so, and before you know it, this kind of narrative of just this lack of information of width just paints this problem, and then putting a plaster on it and a plaster on it and a plaster on it. So what you're looking to do in the backswing is you're looking to apply width, okay? Now, the big shock to most golfers when I suggest this is how much shorter their backswing potentially feels. Because if I sort of take the club back, what you're trying to do is you're trying to use your right palm to push on towards your left thumb to apply width, okay? Now, when you start to do this, obviously your hands and arms will stay much more in front of your chest, like so, and it will stop any of this type of motion, which is perfect. But you'll start to feel shorter. The main reason for this though is because to be able to actually lift the club up really high, you need to induce what's known as more thoracic extension. Okay, this is where you'd be able to get the arms up higher. But we're not talking about that today. The reason I'm mentioning that is to explain why your swing would feel a little bit shorter. So that's what you do, okay? That's what we're trying to do. Use your right palm to push the club away from you, introducing much more width, and this is going to give you the capacity to bring your arms down in front of you on the downswing position and get you whipping that club through. So don't want your arms too close. We want to apply width. It will feel shorter until you feel ready, and then you can start messing around with what your chest is doing to get the club up. But I think what happens is golfers, they know they should swing back, and then they get like this, and then that's how they end up sort of painting this picture of what they think a swing is. Width is the key. So what's a simple drill to fix it? Well, get yourself a little alignment stick, and as you can see here, I've cut this down to only a couple of feet in length. And what you're trying to do is, as you're making a few swings, you're trying to listen to where the whipping sound is. So what happens with a couple of my students is when they kind of do this, the whipping sound is well before the golf ball, and we don't want that. You want the whipping sound post the golf ball, and the only way you're going to be able to do that is to apply width and then get your hands coming in narrow, so it's like so. So all of a sudden, even though you feel like you're probably stripping away a lot of distance by doing this, because you could rotate, you'll start to feel much more powerful. It's a useful little tip. You will need something very lightweight, something like your alignment stick cut down. You won't be able to reproduce this with your golf club, but you can just see the way I'm taking this back, nice and wide, and then whipping it through. Nice and wide, and then whipping it through. Wide and whip. And what that's going to do is that's going to stop you excessively bending, causing that casting motion. It's going to get you wider, and then lending itself to a better body rotation in that downswing. Go and work on it. I'll catch you with you guys again really soon.